What's up, everyone? I'm a little sick right now, so if I sound a little weird, that's why. Also, because I pre record all of my videos that post at 6 a.m. on the weekdays on the weekend, I'm going to sound like this on every single video that is posted for this week at 6 a.m. So if that annoys you, I'm sorry. Can't do anything about it. Blame the COVID gods. But because it hurts so much to speak right now, I have went through the effort of finding a text to speech AI synthesis. So we will be using that to read all of the news articles for all of the episodes so that I only have to speak to add my comments. But yeah, this week's articles and morning videos are going to be a bit more serious and a bit more tangible to what's going on in the real world right now rather than, internet based. But let's get into it.
U.S.-Saudi petrodollar pact ends after 50 years story by Paul Hoffman. The 50-year-old petrodollar agreement between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia was just allowed to expire. The term petrodollar refers to the U.S. dollar's role as the currency used for crude oil transactions on the world market. This arrangement has its roots in the 1970s, when the United States and Saudi Arabia struck a deal shortly after the U.S. went off the gold standard that would go on to have far-reaching consequences for the global economy. In the history of global finance, few agreements have wielded as many benefits as the Petrodollar Pact did for the U.S. economy. A boon to U.S. bonds. The Petrodollar Agreement, formalized after the 1973 oil crisis, stipulated that Saudi Arabia would price its oil exports exclusively in U.S. dollars and invest its surplus oil revenues in U.S. Treasury bonds. In return, the U.S. provided military support and protection to the kingdom. This arrangement was a win-win situation for both. The U.S. gained a stable source of oil and a captive market for its debt, while Saudi Arabia secured its economic and overall security. Status as the reserve currency, oil being denominated in U.S. dollars alone, has significance beyond the categories of oil and finance. By mandating that oil be sold in U.S. dollars, DXY, the agreement elevated the dollar's status as the world's reserve currency. This, in turn, has profoundly impacted the U.S. economy. The global demand for dollars to purchase oil has helped to keep the currency strong, making imports relatively cheap for American consumers. Additionally, the influx of foreign capital into U.S. Treasury bonds has supported low interest rates and a robust bond market. Potential to disrupt the global financial order. However, the petrodollar's dominance may be facing its most significant challenge yet. The agreement between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia expired on June 9, 2024. This expiration has far-reaching implications, as it has the potential to disrupt the global financial order. The shifting power dynamics in the oil market are a critical factor in this development. The rise of alternative energy sources, such as renewables and natural gas, has reduced the world's reliance on oil. Furthermore, the emergence of new oil-producing nations, such as Brazil and Canada, has challenged the traditional dominance of the Middle East. U.S. dollar's future. The petrodollar's expiration could weaken the U.S. dollar and, by extension, the U.S. financial markets. If oil were to be priced in a currency other than the dollar, it could lead to a decline in global demand for the greenback. This, in turn, could result in higher inflation, higher interest rates, and a weaker bond market in the United States. Key takeaway: a significant shift in global power dynamics. The expiration of the petrodollar agreement represents a significant shift in global power dynamics. It highlights the growing influence of emerging economies and the changing energy landscape. While the full implications of this shift remain to be seen, investors should at least be aware that on a macro level, the global financial order is entering a new era. The U.S. dollar's dominance is no longer guaranteed.
Yeah, so I think this is going to possibly start to cause hyperinflation because when you think about it, all these other countries around the world that were wanted to buy oil from the Saudis had to do it in US dollars, so they would take our dollars from us, which was essentially just buying our debt. And when these other countries, when the Saudis and the other Arabs, they start to not use the US dollar, Well, guess what? All these other countries are no longer going to keep buying US dollars to buy their oil in. So all those dollars are going to come right back home here to America. And then guess what? We're going to have a massive influx of cash and then hyperinflation because nobody's going to want our money anymore because they don't need it. You know, especially with how quickly the dollar's value has been depleting over the past couple decades and specifically the past few years. Of course, nobody wants to keep our money. Why would they? It's valueless. It doesn't even hold its own value over 10 years. That's pathetic. You know, our money used to be backed by gold. It used to actually mean something, which was why the global reserve currency was the US dollar. But, you know, now that we've turned it into a fiat currency, you know, it's no more valuable than any other fiat currency, which is all of them. So why would other people want our garbage paper? Yeah, that's the news for today, guys. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the petrodollar pact ending. Do you think the United States should try to renew it with the Saudis, or do you think that we're just screwed either way and it doesn't matter what we do? I don't know. Let me know what you think. And while you're down there, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to follow me on the Big Mean Green website.